Okay. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for a webinar on how to hire an employees over in India. So my name is Miri, and I'm a managing director of EER Global. We're the largest vendor operating from Israel to help Israeli companies grow overseas. I will be talking to Himanshu Tangje, which is our EER head of sourcing. So hi, Himanshu, thank you for joining us. We will do the first hour talking about hiring and employing in India. What are the best tips, how to do it right? And after that, we may break for maybe a couple of minutes, just to bring another cup of coffee, and we'll have Amit Yempulsky from Papaya Global, who will talk to us about all the important stuff that you need to know in order to employ people in India. And the interesting stuff on Amit's lecture today is that he's going to show you not only what the obligatory rights are, but also he will tell you what are the best practices, especially when it comes to tech companies, but not just in India. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start. So just give me a moment. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Right. So first of all, this is going to be in a form of a conversation between me and Himanshu. It will take about 45 minutes. I'm going to ask Himanshu questions and add some information to it myself. And towards the end, if you want to ask questions, that would be great. Or at the end of each slide, if you want to pop a question or two, it can work as well. So let's start with the really basic information. Himanshu has been working with EER for many years now, and he knows what it's like to work with Israeli companies. And I want to ask you, Himanshu, why do you think, can you put yourself on mute? I'm not sure who that is. Let me just mute everyone. Give me a moment. Just give me a moment, sorry.
Now I guess you can share the screen.
Yeah, now I can share.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me start with it.
Yeah, so I would like to ask you, Himanshu, the first question that we should all start with is why hiring employees in India, and also what kind of employees is it worthwhile for Israeli companies to hire in India? Why should they even go to this direction?
Thank you very much, Mary, for giving me the opportunity to present, India culture, hiring in India in front of you guys. So there are certain factors that we need to consider to hire in India. Number one is cost. So if you talk about cost, so cost is the main factor in India that, in India, you will find people have less salaries if you compare to European or US salaries. So people are getting less money. And there is some poverty as well. The market rate is too low. So cost is the main motivation factor for them to hire the candidates in India.
And before we go to the next point, when you say cost, can you be more specific? Israelis were very direct, and we want to show, if you can show us the money. What are we talking about here? If you compare let's just take a developer in India. If you compare it to East Europe in percentage, how much would it take?
If you talk about percentage, so it's 40 to 50% lower salary than European countries and East Europe plus US. And if you talk about developer, market is booming right now. So there are, more companies are coming. So the market is too competitive. So people are, hiring in India just because of cost, because you see in US, there are less people. In Europe as well, there are less people, but in India, you'll find more pool, more talent, and cost is too low.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, we have language. Most of the people in India speak English in a good level, 88% in cities. Most of the companies coming from outside India, the foreign companies who are hiring in India, they are just focusing on cities. So 88% people in cities, they are speaking English. They do not have a language like UK accent or US accent, but they know they can easily tell you in their own language, in English, that what they are trying to say. Yeah, so 88% in cities, they are speaking in English. So
Okay.
language is the second motivational factor to hire in India.
Okay. So types of employees, what do you reckon?
Yeah, what did you say?
Like type of employees, what kind of professions is it easy to find in India?
Type of employees, number one is technical employees. Everyone, if you check the companies who are hiring in India coming from foreign countries or even in India, they are just focusing on technical employees because there are more than 10 lakh universities or colleges are there, you can say, who have technical universities who have more than 20 lakhs technical people who are coming every year. The students I'm talking about. So technical people are number one. Second, labor class, the manufacturing units are there. If you heard that Apple, big companies, manufacturing companies, they are coming to India, and the customer service as well. So these type of candidates you can find easily in India, and pool is too high.
Is there any specific cities that you think worth concentrating on?
If you talk about urban areas, so I would say Delhi NCR is the number one. Gurgaon, where I'm living right now, is the hub of companies. You will see just concrete building all over the place. So Delhi NCR, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, so Chennai as well. So these are the main cities you can find the best talent in India.
Okay. Okay. What about mentality?
See, it's all about the employer. In the Indians, they are very flexible. They have very time taking, not time taking, I would say hardworking people. So they are very flexible. You will find them if they are liking the work, they will find them they are working till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. They don't demand any money. So if they like the work, they are very flexible. They have they are too hardworking.
Right. Okay. Good to know. We already know that. Obviously, we have you. So
last point. Last point I would like to consider here. In 2021, India was the 5th largest economy in the world, and the assumption says that it will be the 3rd in next 10 years. So we are growing.
So we have to join the ride. Yeah, definitely. Right. Okay. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay, the culture. And I'm going to say it up front. You know me already. So obviously there's an issue. Okay, there's an issue with the culture, especially for Israelis. And a lot of the time when companies need to decide where to open another branch, where to open a developer center, they're not sure whether India is the right place because of the huge differences in culture. And I wanted to talk it through with you. So what are those differences and how Israeli companies can overcome them and deal with it in the right way? And where this gap is coming from? So maybe we can start with the first thing, which is the politeness. I think it's the most important thing.
So there are certain things that we need to consider about Indian culture. Number one is polite. So Indians are a bit polite in nature. When you take the interview, so you should be very polite to them. They'll give you all the answer, but you just need to make sure you're very clear what you are saying, and you need to make sure they understand what you want to talk, and be polite in nature. This is what we have always in terms of interview, in terms of employees. So if you're more polite, you'll be able to grab them.
Okay.
Next,
so how?
You were asking something?
No, fine.
Okay. Next, we have hierarchical and formal. We, if you talk about employees in India, so we are very formal in nature. So we like to go to office while wearing shirt and pant and formal shoes. And this is what in our culture that you cannot go to office in casual way. Now some companies are implementing that you can come on Friday and Saturday if you are open in formal wears. Otherwise, no, just follow Monday to Thursday formal wears. And if you talk about hierarchical, so we have a mindset that if you have a boss or manager, you call them as a sir or ma'am. You don't see this in US culture or European market. So they will love to say our manager sir or ma'am. So this is in our nature. Plus, in formal manner, I would say we don't go directly to the CEO. If you have any problem or anything, we just speak to our manager, our team leader. We don't directly go to CEO and complain and anything. So we go in hierarchy mainly.
Okay, so what happens, Himanshu, if, like, say, an employee would go to his line manager, address the situation, and he didn't get what he wanted? Would he just stop and be upset?
See, it's all about what we have in nature, that they keep on asking to the manager. Most of the time, we keep on pushing. Don't go directly to the CEO. They think that's the line breaking part, that if they go to manager, because they have in mindset that the manager will, otherwise the manager will not save him up moving forward. So there will be a fight from the manager. So they keep on talking to the manager and try that whatever they want, they will get it from the manager itself or the team leader.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, we have show me the money. This is the most motivational factor, and that's in our culture itself, that show the money, because the pool right now in India, you post one job, you will get tons of resumes. So, but only 10 to 15% people are really good, that who are looking for job. And if you really want to hire someone, a good person, show them the money, they'll 100% come to you. This is the motivational factor for them as well, because it's been 2 years, pandemic happened, and most of the people left their job or laid off from the companies. So now they are looking that they want to boost their career from the money side plus the working side as well. So if you show them the money, good money, they'll 100% join you.
Okay.
Next, we have small talks. Small talks are very, very important. So in terms of small talk, you need to be in touch with your employee. Like you can ask them anything about their personal life. Like in US, you cannot ask if you're married or how many children you have, but in India, it's too general. You can ask them, when did you get married, how many years have you passed away, and how many children you have. They really like it, actually. So if you keep on talking to them in every 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or 1 week, they really like it. They like talking, having small talk. Maybe you can sit and talk, and just not because of your business or employees, and just with the personal talk as well. So keep on talking to them, they like it, and that's in our culture itself. Next, will not express their desire directly. This is in our culture, or I would say that's the complaint I also get from my clients who are hiring in India, because when they take the interview, they don't tell each and everything. Either they tell everything in one go, or they don't say. So they have a tendency that you need to drill them up. So they don't tell you each and everything what they have in their head till they are very comfortable. So better to speak to them. That's coming from the small talk itself. That speak to them and keep on asking, drill them up, and understand what exactly they want to say, so that they'll tell you what they are looking for exactly.
Okay.
Final.
So how do you drill them? How do you do it? Obviously, they will not tell you what they think. It's really difficult.
It's all about you. That as this is the 5th point, but the fourth and fifth point both are connected together.
Yes.
So when you have have a meeting with them, they like to have a one-to-one talk instead of a group talk, because when you talk in group, they don't like it. They don't tell what they have in their head. So have one-to-one talk in an office, or and talk to them, understand what they are trying to say, because language is a barrier, but you need to understand much, and you need to give them time what exactly they want to say. So one-to-one talk is too important here.
Okay. I think one thing that I find helpful is that because I know that they will not say no, and sometimes it's hard to know that what you want will be done, or that what was said in the meeting was actually agreed. So I find it very helpful to repeat everything after the meeting in a short email, or to have something in writing and get the other person to really agree on that. Because then I know at least that, okay, he didn't say no, but in the email he has to relate. And, you know, if you don't ask a yes or no question, you ask like more a general and open question, and then he can reply. And then I know exactly where it's coming from. And I find it very helpful as well.
Right. That's the tendency they have by saying no. They don't like saying no. They always say, you know, they can't do it. If they say no, they are breaking the rules. So
yeah,
make sure you are very clear what you're telling them, what work you want to complete from them, so they understand it and 100% they'll fulfill it.
Okay, thank you. So let's talk about hiring. This is why we are here for. So how do you think is the best way, if you can give us a few tips to conduct a very successful hiring process in India?
There are, you know, Mary, as it's been more than 10 years in recruiting industry and more than 8 years working with EER. And, you know, there are many clients we worked in India, and they are really happy working in India. But there are some tips that we brought in here. Number one is be clear what you are asking, and make sure they understand you. See, as language is a barrier, and you know, most of the people they speak in English and Hindi both. So if you talk in a slang or in accent, they don't understand much. So you need to make sure you are very clear whatever you are telling them. Be slow and tell them, you know, make sure you understand what you're telling, and ask them, keep on asking them. They like if you ask, keep on asking them if they understand it or not. So that's the number one tip from our side, that okay, this is what you need to go through. Make sure they understand and whatever you are asking, and be clear on that part.
Yeah, maybe we can ask, can you explain what you understood from the process? This way it's not a yes or no question, and you can gather the information. So it's really true what you said about drilling and asking them to comment back, which will enable us to make sure that they really understand what we're saying.
Correct. They're very open. They're very open, as I told you, that if you go to one-to-one talk instead of group talk, so they're very open. You can sit with them and ask them, okay, what they have, what thoughts they have. You know, I also speak to my employees who are sitting in India. So I don't talk to them in a group. Like if I make a meeting with you know 20-30 people, they don't speak. They keep on looking at their other people's faces. But when I ask them one-to-one, okay, what ideas they can give, I get many ideas, you know, to hire more employees, plus sourcing, plus recruiting, and you know, they make script for me on calls. So yeah, so
so one-to-one is key. Is a key here.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Next, successful hiring in India, keep the process short and simple. You will find if you have, you know, 7, 8, 9 interviews in your process, you may find people in India, they leave in between. Yeah. So better you know, keep your process, the interview process, very simple and short. Better if you can take 1 hour interview in one go, 2 hour interview, they are okay with it. But if you have 7, 8, 9 rounds, because I found Indian companies, they take such rounds, and you know, some companies from outside India as well, they take round, and in between candidates leave, because some companies, the other companies have short rounds and they get the offer easily early as well. So they go towards that. So they have a mindset that okay, if any company have 2-3 rounds, that's a good company to move forward. So you can drill them up in first or second interview very easily, but don't go for 7, 8, or 9 interviews.
Okay.
Next, keep every communication in writing, as these all points are connected, like hiring in India and successful hiring in India. So whatever you discuss, better to have in writing, so that you know, you have everything on paper. So when you have a meeting with your employees, so better to, you know, send an email as well. Like I also do the same to my employees. When I communicate each and everything with them, I send it an email and ask them to acknowledge. So be clear, and you know, have all the communication in writing over the email or whatever process you have.
Okay.
Next, note that it's okay to interrupt what you are saying in an interview. So this is what we have in our nature. You will find it very easily, and our clients are also finding it. So when you're taking the interview, you will find them, they'll stop you in between, they interrupt you in between. So they feel very, good to stop you in between and tell their things, because till you complete your question, they'll answer you. So this is the tendency if they have in their mind that, if you know the question, stop them and just tell them. So you'll find this while taking the interview.
Yeah, so it's actually showing enthusiasm if someone interrupts you. So don't see it as a rudeness or anything like that. It's really, they want to show you how enthusiastic they are from the process.
They actually cheer it up, and that when they know the answer, they really cheer it up, and they stop you in between and ready to give you the answer very fast. So that's in their nature. Yeah.
Okay.
So don't find it rude.
Okay. Good point. Thank you.
Yeah. Indians start their day late, so don't book the interviews before 10 a.m. This is what we have in nature. Even our colleges and schools are not schools. The colleges, they start by 10 a.m. itself, and you'll find them if you book the interview before 10 a.m. You'll find them. Most of the people or candidates, they cancel the interview. So better to schedule the interview in the daytime or in the evening. So they like it. If you talk about the passive candidate, they always like to have the interview in the evening instead of daytime, because they have their office as well. They need to work for their office. We found for most of our clients, if you schedule the meetings in the morning, they get the meeting from any project or meeting from their current company. I'm talking about the passive candidates. So better to schedule the meeting or the interview in the evening itself.
Okay.
Next point. Yeah. So show appreciation. So if you like their work or anything they are doing, any project, so better to appreciate them. They really like it. They, in India, they say you like your manager more instead of your company. If your manager is good, you can stay with the company for next 10 years. So they have that mindset in their head that, okay, if your manager is good, they're appreciating your work, so you will work long. So keep on appreciating. Tell them, okay, you're doing good. Maybe you can give some gifts, some bonuses as well. So this is the appreciation part you can give them to have a successful hiring.
Thank you, Himanshu. So let's move to the next point. After you hire people, you need to retain them somehow. And we will talk about the ghosting phenomena soon, which I know is very, very popular and people want to know. But let's talk about retaining them. How do they expect us to treat them, and what would help to keep them for the long run?
See, we in India, that Indian employees, they expect a bonus and a salary increase once a year. So when you take the interview, they'll ask you over the interview, what will be the increment process, or are there any bonuses or not? Okay, so you should have a good bonus scheme that depending upon their work and their performance. So you can have once a year, you can have the bonus or salary increment, because that's in their nature and they expect it always. If they are doing good, they always expect that they'll have a salary hike after 1 year. And this is the main point to retain the employees in India, because when they see, okay, the 1 year getting completed, they get excited. They start getting excited. Okay, they'll get the salary hike. But if you don't give them the salary hike, they start looking for jobs.
Sure. Okay.
Next, we have send gift for special event and in their life and holidays. So in India, we have some festival plus the festival plus there's some celebration going on, and on their birthdays you can give them gifts. So gifts they really like to having the gifts, surprise gifts as well. So companies in India, what they are doing, celebrating their birthdays, their anniversaries at office, plus sending them gifts to their home, and on holidays as well, giving them, if they are not well, they're sending some small gift, get well soon gift as well. This is what they're doing to retain the employees in India.
Okay, thank you, Himanshu. So let's talk about ghosting. I know everyone in the registration, asked to know about that, and we see that a lot too. Let me just mute everyone. Give me a moment. 1 second. I'm just going to mute everyone. Just give me a moment. Mute all. Just give me a moment. Okay. So let's talk about first, why is it so popular? I mean, why people are ghosting in such big numbers in India? It happens a lot in terms of numbers. And first of all, I would like to ask why, and then let's talk about how to overcome it.
See, why this is the question I'm also getting from my client, that I get the news 50% people are not joining, and why. So the market is too competitive right now. The technology market is booming in India. Before 2 years, when pandemic happened, people were dying for jobs. But now the companies are coming to India. The jobs are less and people are more. So if you post any job, you will get tons of resumes. Even they are not qualified for the posting. So better to have a good company or better recruiting firm like us, to find the right talent. Yeah. So the market is too competitive. So that's the reason they ghost, because one employer or one candidate have multiple offers in their hand, and there is no law in India that if you have one offer in your hand, you cannot go for other interviews. Yeah.
But Himanshu, we've been in business for 15 years, and you, as you said, you've been with us for 8 years, and this is something we've seen even before the pandemic, before the COVID hit. And do you feel that there's a lack of commitment or in the culture? What is it really?
See, I would say that not before the pandemic, not much as from our clients. Okay.
Yeah.
So right now it's happening from last 2 years much. As I told you that companies are coming to India, and even Indian companies, they are hiring more in bulk. If you talk about Microsoft, they are hiring 1 lakh people in India. Google are also hiring. So they all are technology people they are hiring, and this is happening with mainly with the technology people, technology candidate, not with the manufacturing or customer support. I did a survey with my clients. So customer support, and I had one CEO as well. So we submitted 3 candidates and 1 candidate joined. So, but if we talk about technology, it's more over technology thing, that for one position there are 100 candidates lined up, and they choose the right opportunity to go for.
I see. Okay, so let's talk about how to overcome it. If I can just go to the next slide, which I somehow can't. Give me a moment. Okay, so let's talk about how to deal with it, Himanshu. What do you suggest? And we lined up some tips here. How to deal with it? How to make them come to work eventually?
See, according to right now, as the market is going on, what companies are doing right, just because of ghosting, they have contracts now. What they're asking to sign the offer, and they cannot work for any other company. Show them the money, okay? Tell them, okay, this is whatever they are getting, you are giving more, and you need to sign a contract so that you will not join any other company. The contract should be not like that they'll stay with the company for next 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, just 6 months.
Himanshu, you're breaking. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can you hear you now?
Yeah. So I said that don't go for the contract that says go for, they'll join you for next 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. You can start with 3 months or 6 months. Okay, so just have the contract. If they sign the contract, they will not join any other company. So have the contract, or maybe I would say a bond in your employer for the employees. Yeah.
Okay.
Next, we have be clear what you are offering, and it should be competitive enough and to what they are getting and expecting. So this is the complaint I got from the candidates, that when they are taking the interviews, they are not so clear whatever the client is hiring or offering in terms of money, in terms of bonuses, in terms of stock, what they get, what they are expecting. So better to be more clear. Tell them, okay, what should be their roles and responsibilities, what you are offering in terms of salary, in terms of stocks, what benefits they get. Salary is one thing, and other benefits they really like it to understand, because base salary is one thing. If they get variables, if you have stocks, tell them what stocks they get, and at the end of the day how much money they will retrieve from the company. So be clear whatever you are offering, and tell them what your goal should be in next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, how they can grow, so they like it, and then 100% they'll stay with you.
I see. Okay.
Next, we have they should understand to the work company culture, etc. So this is same with the second. So they need to understand. Tell them what you had it before in last 1 year. What was the company culture? How you deal with it? How the work goes around? Who will be the manager? Tell them each and everything about the manager, about the company, about company culture, what company is going through, and if you had any funding, if you are unicorn, tell them, so that they are very clear, and they have in a mindset that okay, yes, they will join your company, only your company.
Okay. What about like other offers, like on point 4? How should we treat that?
See, this is the point, that ask them if they have any offer in their hand. What other companies is too general that to ask such things. So you can ask them what offers in their hand.
Himanshu, you're breaking. Okay, I think Himanshu dropped. So I will continue this point and Himanshu will join us. So when we spoke about the number 4, we talked about, this is also something that can happen in India, that the internet is breaking. So it's very important that in the process, you already know at any step what is happening with your candidate, whether he has other offers and what are those other offers. It's really important because you need to know where you are at any given point, because this will help you to mitigate the other offers that he has. And you know how competitive this candidate is, so you can relate to it. It's true to any recruitment process, but in particularly in India, and because of the ghosting phenomena.
Yeah.
Some other tips. Are you back, Himanshu?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
So yeah. I just finished up number 4. We went to the next slide. So there are some more tips, and I will let you elaborate on them because you're the expert in India, not me.
Yeah, no problem. So choose someone passive who should not have any offer in their hands. So like us, being a recruiting firm, so we target mainly on passive sourcing, or passive recruiting, or passive candidates. So instead of going for job boards, like if you go to job board, if you put any keyword, you will get tons of resumes. So like us, we go to passive talent, we go to LinkedIn and find the right talent. Like we ask that, okay, who are your competitor companies? We check those companies and find the right talent from them. So why passive talent? Because they are not looking for jobs. So you need to make them interested. Okay. So if you tell them, okay, what you are offering, how you are different from their current company, expectation, what you are offering, they like it. So make them interested and go for it. They'll 100% join you. So go for the passive talent and go for us to find the passive talent.
Yeah. We believe in passive candidates anyway, not just in India, because we do believe it's usually the best talent pool you can find, but especially in India, like I get it, because then the chances that you have like other offers with them is lower. So the ghosting will happen less.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Next, we have go for the candidate who have not more than 1.5 months notice period. See, companies are getting smarter here in India because they are giving 3 months notice period. So there is no limitation to have the notice period. So when the candidate joins, they ask to go for 1 month, 2 month, 3 months notice period. But most of the companies, they have 1 month or 2 months notice period. So go for such candidates who have 1 month or 1.5 month or maximum 2 months notice period instead of going for 3 months. Because when they are coming to their notice period, when they sign your offer, so they keep on checking other jobs as well. So when you have short notice period, so they'll stay with you, they'll stick with you, and they'll 100% join you.
Okay.
Next, show them how you are different from the other companies, career path, how they can grow and earn more working with you. So you need to, when they sign the contract with you or the offer letter, or in between the interviews, you need to make sure they are very clear on their career path. So they have in their head, why? Because they are very secure right now after pandemic. So they are not just going for the bigger company, they are going for a stable company too. They see, okay, which company is stable, because in last 2 years, many companies came to India, but many companies got disappeared. They laid off many employees. So they are very, secure on their career path. Make sure you show them, okay, what will be their career path in next 2, 3, 5 years, and how they can grow with your company and what exactly they can earn while working with you.
Yeah. Okay. What about keeping in touch? How do you keep in touch during the notice period? What's the best thing to do? Himanshu? I think he's frozen again. All right, so I'll cover this point until he comes back. So because we see that people have those longer notice periods, we find that most companies would send gifts during those notice periods, send gifts and also send a notice with a really, really big card saying, we're very glad you're joining us. Some companies are also sending it to the family. So everyone in the village knows that, your employee is starting with you and then he cannot go back. So sending gifts, a joining bonus, whatever, and keep a very, very close touch with them also help. It's not magic, and sometimes you do it and they still don't join you, which is really, really frustrating, but you can at least try to do it. It's a bit of an extra effort, but it's only just a small effort if you compare it to all the recruitment efforts that you've done prior to this stage. So I would highly recommend doing that.
And even one more
Himanshu,
point
we can't see you. Himanshu, we can't see you.
Yeah, my internet is a bit not stable.
All right, so we'll just listen to you.
I'll speak here. Yeah. So one point I want to mention here to stop ghosting. So when they sign you, before the joining, most of the company, what they are doing, they are giving the laptop or other things like T-shirt or cup at the time of joining. Better to send it beforehand, like before 15 days or 20 days. So they have if they have the laptop or other things beforehand, so they'll be with you, they'll sign it and they'll join you. So have these formalities before instead of on the date of joining. So yeah,
I see. Okay, very good. So let's talk about finding a good partner. So I want to talk a little bit about us and in general. So first of all, I think it's really, really important to find an agency that understands both the Israeli culture and the Indian culture, because I do think that there are really good candidates in India, but they may not be a good fit for the Israeli culture. And finding someone who understands both is critical for the success of the process. Obviously, we know both, and we have people, Israeli people and Indian culture in our company, and understand how this blend can work. We do have over 40 people, sourcers and recruiters, and we are very ready to help you with your hiring needs in India. But if you choose, whatever you choose to work, make sure that they understand the Israeli culture, which I believe is, again, a key success factor here. Top job roles in India. So Himanshu, do you want to elaborate here?
Yeah. So the number one is Naukri.com. I guess people here who are currently hiring in India, they know Naukri.com. This is the number one job board in India. Second, we have Indeed, Glassdoor, Monster, Shine and Time Jobs. So,
right.
But these all job boards are just for the active candidates, not for the passive candidate. So if you post any job or if you go for the keyword, you will get many resumes.
Yeah, that's the problem. So you get overloaded with CVs. So you need make sure you have someone who can screen them.
Correct.
Okay, so we're not going to go through this in details, but just to give you an idea of the public holidays in India. So as you know, India is, there are regions, and there are 3 main holidays that Himanshu will elaborate shortly, and also Amit will relate it from a legal point of view. But there are 3 main holidays that relate to everyone, and the other, I think 8 or 9, are different from region to region. And so it's written here, and obviously we would share this presentation with you later. But what I would like to ask you, Himanshu, is if you can talk about the 3 main holidays and what is expected from the employee. How do we treat it as an employer? What do we do? Do we give gifts? What do we give them?
Maybe actually, I would say 2 only, Holi and Diwali. Third, the New Year Day, we celebrate now from past years and giving gifts.
Right.
So Holi, this is just coming on 18th of March in India. Okay, so for on this we play with colors. Companies are have to get together. They have sweets there. They play with the colors, with water as well. So this is how the Holi gets celebrated. And next is Diwali. Diwali, everyone know Diwali, this festival of light. So on that day we go to our relatives or employees or employers home and give them small gifts that they really like it. They wear kurta and the traditional clothing they wear, and this is how celebrate Diwali.
So as an employer, do you buy those gifts? Is it things to your house or just vouchers? What's common?
Correct. Yeah, there are different things that some companies have their own gift they can manufacture from the companies, and they give them small bonuses or Diwali bonus. We used to say, my company, I'm also giving my employees as well the Diwali bonuses, small gifts like sweets you can give, clothing you can give, colors you can give. Yeah.
All right. Okay, and of course the day off, obviously. People don't work.
Yes. Yes.
So notice Holi is March 18th, coming soon, and the Diwali, when is that? Let's have a look. When is the Diwali? It's October. Right. Okay. No problem. Okay. Thank you.
And then the third, if you talk about the New Year Day, now from last 4 or 5 years, we started celebrating more in terms of wishing everyone Happy New Year and giving them gifts and giving an off as well on first of January.
I see. Okay, interesting. So it's a combination of the Western culture that is taking effect. Okay.
Other than that, there are gazetted holiday, Republic Day, Independence Day, Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. So those are fixed days, holidays that we celebrate.
Okay, thank you. So let's talk about salary benchmarks. So first of all, we've put here, a couple of websites that you can go into. Himanshu, what's the most reliable source? And where do you think is the best way to get the most accurate information?
I would say salary.com and Glassdoor both. So in salary.com, you can put the job title plus the location. It will show you the salary differences between different countries, different companies, and the location too. And similar to that, Glassdoor. Companies putting pasting the jobs in Glassdoor and giving the salary as well. From there you can also compare the salary differences and the average salary too. Yeah.
Can you find salary bands on the local job boards like Nakuri and the rest of them, or not really?
So it depends on you. It depends on the employer who are posting the jobs. So there is no salary benchmark they are giving you. They'll show you the posting when you see there is a job posted. So either they'll show you the job, what they are giving, the benchmark or not, the range, basically. Yeah, but not on Naukri.com. That's the job board.
I see. Okay, thank you. So that was it from our side. Obviously, very interesting, Himanshu, to hear it from, in your words. I would like to, ask you people in the audience, obviously we've covered many topics, but do you have any questions? Is there anything that we haven't covered and you were expecting to hear from us today? We're really happy to answer your questions.
Hi.
Hi.
I would just wanted to ask, you did cover it. You talked about the holidays and what it's common to do, but I wasn't sure I understood you correctly. During the holidays, so there is 3 holidays that it's common to bring a gift or a bonus, and all the others it's just not
normal
don't do anything.
Yes.
Just normal days, and you can get in Israel when you have a holiday, so you get money just for not coming to work. So I would go in India.
Yeah, same. Every holiday you'll get them. Those are the paid holidays you get, like Republic Day, Independence Day. Those are the paid holidays. But apart from your salary, the paid salary, you can give small gifts, the bonuses, small gifts on Diwali or Holi. On Holi, not much. On Holi, we used to ask our employees to come to office and play with the colors. So there is a small get together. Eatables are there, so some drinks. So they play with the colors. So this is how they celebrate Holi. But mainly on Diwali, they expect a small bonus from the companies, small gifts, anything you can give them. Yeah, apart from
what do you mean small bonus? Like what is for you small bonus?
Performance bonuses, small performance bonuses.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Danielle. Okay, anyone else wants to ask Himanshu or me anything?
Hi, I have a question.
Yes, hi, Dikla.
Hi, how are you? So I missed the beginning, so it might was there, but just to ask, do you know, or can you tell me what is the attrition rate in India?
So how much time normally people stay in general?
No, what's the attrition rate? Not for how long they stay, but how many people are leaving their jobs in India? What is the attrition rate?
Right.
So it depends on, yeah,
The
it
market.
depends on the companies. It depends on the market more. If you talk about the technology market, so attrition rate is 30 to 40% going on right now. But
40?
if you talk about, yes, 30 to 40%. But
And
if you talk about, yeah, what did you say?
Pharma companies?
Pharma companies, there are less pharma companies, so attrition rate is high. Okay, people are staying with the companies more. We are also working with the companies, so they have higher attrition rate.
Okay.
Okay. And do you know to say what is the ghosting rate? Like for 100 new candidates or employees, how many to expect? Or it's a usual expectation for how many not to show to work?
If you are only talking about the pharma company or all the companies?
Both, pharma
Both.
and
So,
all other.
Okay, if you talk about technology companies, so ghosting is going on, right? 40 to 50%. 50% people are joining, 50% are not joining while they are signing the contract. And if you talk about the other manufacturing side or pharma companies, is only 20% candidates are who are not joining. 80% we can say yes, they are joining.
20% are not joining, while
Right.
the 80% are joining. Okay.
Right.
Correct.
And one more question, if I may.
Sure.
Now there's a practice, and I just want to understand better if it's used to be a practice or still, that for candidates, it is used to ask what is the current salary, and then to give no more than up to 30% of the current salary in the new role in the new company. So just to hear a little bit more about that, is it still a common practice in India? Is it something that used to be but stopped due to the Great Resignation and the changes?
It depends. It depends more over the profile and the companies you are. Like if you talk about the pharma company or manufacturing company, so 30% is minimum going on. And if you talk about the technology, so companies are giving 100% hike as well, just to hire employees. Yeah. So it depends on the position plus the companies. So I saw many candidates, hired by my clients previously in last 6 months. Technical, I'm talking about the technology. So they gave 100% hike, 80 to 100% hike as well. But if you talk about manufacturing, we worked for a ceramic company, so they gave 30% hike, and they were also negotiating on that part. So I would say 30% is minimum going on for manufacturing or other companies, and there is no bar for technology hiring.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to ask?
Hello,
Yeah.
I would like to ask.
Yes, please.
Yes, I have read in one article that Indian employees really appreciate benefits. So my question is if after they say the salary we consider a bit high, and after we propose some benefits like medical insurance, stock options plan, education budget, does it really influence how interesting it is for them?
Correct. This is a very thanks for this question. Just would like to cover as well. Stock and variable is more they are looking for currently, because from that they can earn more. So if you have stock option with your company or any other variables, performance benefits you are giving them, medical insurance, HR is also there, house rental allowance and provident fund, and I would say the food coupons if you give. So there are certain benefits they like apart from their base salary. So they consider each and everything conclusive CTC, we say, to understand more about the salary benchmarks.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I wanted to
Ivan.
ask if you could address the question that Miri brought up before about what is the average lifespan of an Indian employee in a company? Specifically, I'm talking about, for us, it's technical support roles, because we do feel that people are leaving quite quickly, that they don't really have longevity in the company. So what is acceptable in India, or what's common for how long an employee stays in such roles?
If you are talking about technical support, I also saw, people are not staying with the company more than 1 year. This is the general practice going on. So because there are tons of companies who are coming in India and hiring technical support people. So I also see the candidates are leaving too early. Yeah. So 1 year span is the minimum they are doing, and maximum, yeah. So 1 year, I would say.
And you feel that, as you noted before about how to retain the employees, even in tech support roles, it's mostly just give them a bonus and a raise every year, or there are other ways
Yes.
you feel
Yes.
that they can be retained, or it's nothing you can do will retain them?
See, yeah, obviously it depends on the companies too. Like us, we keep on giving the bonuses every year, the salary increment. Even they ask you, they like surprises. If you tell them, everyone likes surprises basically. So if you suddenly give them salary hike, the performance benefits, performance bonuses, I would say, they really like it. They'll stay with you, and just keep on speaking to them. If you are not in touch with them, they'll leave. They leave so quickly. This is happening with my company as well. So I always try that, be in touch with them, understand if they are looking for any other job, keep on appreciating them, giving them bonuses, giving them a salary raise. This is how you can retain them. This is for all, not even for customer support, technical support.
Okay. So one last question.
I have a question for
Sure.
companies who have less than 20 or 12 employees that are not that we don't there is no obligation to provide EPF and gratuity. How common it is to provide it, although it's not mandated by law? Or if the company is small, it's okay, like, not to provide it?
If you are less than 20 employees, so there is no need to provide provident fund. That's there is not in the law. Plus, what you can do is, you can, if you do not have any entity or office in India, you can hire the employees as contractors. Yeah, you can have the offer letter as contractor, where you don't need to give them provident fund.
But is it common that companies who has less than 20 employees to start giving those benefits, although it's not mandated by law? Is it
That's
common
not
that small
mandated.
companies give?
That's not mandated. It all depends on you. If you are less than 20.
I understand, but will it be easy to recruit, like, employees, or employees are expecting it, so we better give it even if it's not mandated by law?
Better to give it, because they compare you and other companies who are giving those factors, because provident fund is basically whatever they are have cutting from their CTC, their salary, or also you are also collaborating to it. So at the end of the year, they can withdraw that provident fund. So they like it. Yes, they like to have.
Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Himanshu. You are the best. I would say you have movie star qualities, but I already knew that. So thank you very much. Really, I think it was very insightful to hear those things, especially from you. Guys, do you feel like you need a 3 minutes break, and we will go back at 2:30, like in 3 minutes, so you can grab coffee or go to the toilet? Would that be okay with everyone?
Yes.
Right. All right. Perfect. So, let's break. You can pause your cameras, and we will be back in 3 minutes. Thank you, Himanshu. All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. It's 2:30 now, so we're coming back. I'll let everyone go back. Amit, are you with us?
Yeah, of course.
Hi, so good to be with Amit. If I know that Amit is here, I'm relaxed. All the answers, all the questions will be answered, and we'll get all the information that we need. So thank you so much, and a special thank you to Amit that succeeded to do it against the impossible with the war in Ukraine. There's a lot of pressure, and it was really, really difficult. So again, Amit, thank you so much for doing it. So Amit, please, if you can, I'll let you share the screen. Are you? Yeah, you are a co-host.
Yeah,
so
I can.
I'll let you share the screen, and if you can introduce yourself and Papaya, obviously, and just talk us through all the regulation and employment law. Again, about 30 to 40 minutes with another 10, 15 minutes for questions.
Absolutely. So hi, everyone. Hi, very nice to be here. Just a sec. So I'm using a new platform. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So as Miry shared, my name is Amit Yempolsky. I lead the enterprise sales organization at Papaya Global. For those of you who don't know Papaya, we are a global workforce management platform allowing organizations from all across the world to hire, manage, and pay employees. Really, when I spoke with Miry, the goal we had is to give the audience in this webinar some better information about the law, the legislation in the country, but also give you some more context around the common benefits as well as the statutory ones in India. Miry and Vishnu has already covered some of the benefits that I'm going to cover, but again, there are obviously going to be some parallel work in this instance. As Miry shared, this is probably going to take around 30 minutes. But at the end of the session, I'm going to leave some time for Q&As. So please make sure to write down any questions you might have. I'll be more than happy to go through those. We're going to start with a short country overview, essentially going through some of the statutory contributions in India, everything you need to know when employing in the country. So first of all, the employment contributions in India stands on approximately 17%. And are comprised of a contribution that goes both to a provident fund and approximately 5% that are paid to the state insurance. The employee provident fund is essentially one of the main platforms that employees are using to ensure savings for retirement in the country. The employee provident fund is definitely compulsory, is statutory, as we mentioned before, for organizations that have more than 20 employees. And there's always a cap on the maximum contribution that is based on a monthly salary of 15,000 Indian rupees. I believe that was brought up before, but honestly, even though this contribution is not necessarily mandatory for smaller organizations, given that candidates are constantly evaluating their different employment options, this has pretty much become the industry standard, the same way that perhaps private medical care has become in the US. As for the state insurance, very similar to Social Security, designed to accomplish the task of protecting employees against anything from sickness, disablement of work, God forbid, death, or of course any injury that is preventing from the employee to work, and essentially ensuring that the employees and their immediate family members have some kind of basic coverage, if you will. One of the interesting part in India is the way that the employees' salaries are structured. Essentially, when there's a discussion with the worker about the total gross salary, you should know that this salary is normally comprised out of 3 elements. So if we're talking about a worker that earns, let's say, 10,000 rupees a month, 50% of that salary is actually what the employee would consider as the basic salary. And then there's an additional 50% that are split between 25% of a special house rental allowance and another 25% of a special allowance. What are those special allowances? I will explain. Those allowances are essentially salary components that can be contributed to different purposes and essentially be exempt from taxes, from tax payments. The house rental allowance is a salary component that allows the employee to meet some accommodation expenses so that they can rent a place for residential purposes. Many of the employees that you might be employing are actually relocating their residency to some other cities. So some of the payments they are doing for housing can meet some. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you for the note. I think you can only see. Sorry about that. Let me reshare my screen. Should be better now. I'm so sorry about that. I'll give it another try. Yeah, thank you for the notice. Yeah, let's see if it is being updated. Yeah, okay, we're good now. Should be better now. There we go. So you should be able to see the slide I've mentioned. 25% of the salary goes to a house rental allowance. Again, a salary component that is paid to meet the accommodation expense of renting. And the second allowance would be a special allowance, which is a contribution that is made to grant employees to do some additional expenses towards different types of expenses that are related to meeting their performance or the duties that were tasked over them. An example to such an expense could be an education expense, meaning that your workers can essentially make some expenses toward the education of their children, and those expenses can be fully exempt from taxes, depending on the type of allowance. Obviously, the taxes or the exempt would also vary. You can find online what are the different types of expenses that can meet those tax exempt qualifications. I believe someone asked about gratuity, which is a statutory payment that is made to employees after working for an organization for a period that is longer than 5 years. The eligibility for those, for the gratuity, it has to meet 3 criteria. The payments will be done once an employee has retired. In case of an employee's termination, assuming they've worked for the organization for 5 consecutive years, or in, of course, the unfortunate case of an employee passing away, or in the case they suffer from an injury or a disability that prevents them from working. Again, this is a statutory payment that needs to be made, and the eligibility is only for workers that work for at least 5 years in the organization. I've mentioned, I wanted to give an example towards how the gratuity needs to be calculated. As you can see, there is a calculation of the number of years of service in the company, the last salary the employee is drawn, and then there's some kind of a local mathematics that needs to happen. In the example below, we can see that Amit, that's me, has received a monthly salary of 25,000 rupees every month and has worked for 20 years. In this case, the gratuity would be based on the following calculation: 20 years times 25 times 15 divided by 26. That's the amount of gratuity that needs to be paid. There are some tax exemptions on the gratuity, but those really varies from one region to another. Normally, the employees would be the ones taking care of any tax exempt, if any. Okay, moving on. The next part I'm going to cover would be about the different types of leaves. We can start with talking about the sick leave. The statutory, but also the common practice when it comes to sick leaves are 12 days, which unfortunately cannot be carried forward. That means that any sick balances, if any, will not be able to carry over to the next year. It is possible to provide some additional sick leaves. I've seen some companies that are trying to standardize their benefits offering across all the jurisdictions they might be operating, as in, some other countries they have presence. Definitely possible, but if we're looking on the industry standard, 12 days definitely meets the criteria. The next item would be paid times off, and something that is definitely very close to all of our hearts, the annual leave. It is common to provide 15 days of paid times off per year. That's also the requirements per the law. There is an option to carry over any unused balances to the next calendar year. with an important exception of the fact that the total amount of accumulated days cannot exceed 3 times of the number of paid times off granted, or in other words, 45 days. That means that if a worker has worked for you for 20 years, even though they've received 15 days a year, they would still be able to only carry over or accumulate 45 days at a single moment. The next item we're going to cover would be employee termination. Essentially, the employment process in India is pretty standard, but at the end of the day, it does depend on the type of employment, whether this is a part-time employee, permanent worker, the level of seniority. But in general, whereas the notice period is at least 30 days, if you need a rule of thumb, the higher the level of seniority, the greater the notice period would be. As in many other countries, the notice period is not necessarily required in case of a justified cause, such as misconduct, disobedience, lack of skill, or neglect of duties. But in any case, we always recommend to verify with your local legal advisors about the specific case-by-case requirements. Maternity leaves. Well, employers must provide paid time leave to employees for 182 days. Those are 26 weeks. During that period, any female employees are entitled to both full salaries and all the leaves accruals. As you can see, I was very clear on writing down a maternity leave because unfortunately, India does not have formal paternal leave legislation. But those are actually becoming more and more common, and mainly across international companies operating in the country. Perhaps echoing back to the conversation we had a few minutes ago, employees, talents are constantly evaluating the benefits, the perks that are offered to them by the employers. And obviously, the more generous the offering is, the more likely the employees would decide to join your organization. We spoke briefly about public holidays. There are actually 2 types of bank holidays in India. On the one hand, you have the public holidays, which are mandatory across the entire country. There are 3 of those: Republic Days in January, Independence Day in August, and Mahatma Gandhi Day in the month of October. In addition to those 3 public holidays, there are 12 additional festival holidays that are always determined by the state where the company has operations. India is a country that consists of different states, and each state has its own festival holidays. But as a rule of thumb, those are always 12 festival holidays. It is possible for workers to work on those festival holidays. But at the same time, if you do require employees to work in those days, kindly notice that you'll either need to double pay their salary or provide a compensatory off day, meaning that you would need to give them a day off in some other time of the year. But generally speaking, those are definitely days off that most organizations tend to follow and do not require their employees to work in. A bit about some common benefits in the country. We spoke about the statutory benefits. Again, those for the most part are the Employee Provident Fund and the state insurance. But I think that by now we all understand that actually those private benefits, those optional benefits are normally the important ones. And I'm going to cover 4. The first one is the private medical plans. I can tell you that group health insurance schemes are definitely very common among international companies, normally covering both the employees and the immediate family members. The costs are normally not very high, if we're talking about the benchmark, those would be anywhere around $200 to $350 per year for a family coverage. Definitely very, very cost efficient, even for Israeli companies. So in my opinion, this is normally a no-brainer. Having worked with hundreds of companies, Israeli ones, tech ones, international companies, I would say that the majority of the clients we work with at Papaya do tend to offer those group health insurance plans. Life insurance that are essentially here to cover employees in case of sudden death and allow the employees and the immediate family members some kind of either an immediate relief by providing a one-time transaction to their bank accounts or by having some kind of a monthly allowance are becoming increasingly common in India. I can tell you that many local companies, many local firms in India still do not offer those to workers. But if we're looking at the international space, providing life insurance policies are definitely very, very common. We're also seeing an increase in demand on short-term disability policies that are becoming more and more common in the country. So those can also offer, normally in addition to a life insurance policy. As you can imagine, given the coverage that varies between anywhere from 5 million Indian rupees to 20 million rupees based on the employee's actual salary, the cost would also vary. But normally speaking, I would say that the cost would go anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per worker per year. The two last items I'm going to cover as part of these presentations would be the private pension plans and the telephone and internet allowances. The private pension plans, actually the national pension schemes, are a private pension plan that can be offered to workers. They can be enrolled by any individual in India compared to the Employee Provident Fund that can only be offered to working employees. Companies can decide to choose or contribute some additional funds to that private pension scheme, normally up to 10% of the basic salary. Again, those are becoming increasingly common in international companies that are looking to really standardize the benefit offering across all the different sites they operate in. So I wouldn't be surprised if your employees, the talents that you negotiate with, would ask you about whether your company has a strict policy about some private pension plans. So that's something I'm more than happy to further elaborate during the Q&A section. And lastly, the telephone and internet allowances, I would say that providing an additional allowances to cover the usage of telephone and internet lines are very, very common. Normally, if I need to give you some kind of a benchmark, I would say that anywhere around $100 to $200 a month is definitely common. Some companies decide to reimburse the employees only upon providing valid receipts, but this is definitely up to your discretion. So whether to provide a monthly allowance, which is normally taxable, and then workers need to decide whether to use all of it or some of it, or alternatively, as I mentioned, to provide a reimbursement upon a valid expense. That is everything for now in terms of the common benefits in India. A bit more about Papaya Global and who we are. Of course, I'm more than happy. No, sorry about that. I'm more than happy to answer any further questions. Oh, there you go. But Papaya Global is a leading provider of total workforce management solutions, really allowing our clients to do anything from onboarding, management of employees, and payments in more than 150 countries. We're able to provide solutions across all types of employment. So whether you have an entity in India and require a partner to support with the ongoing payroll processes, whether this is the first time you're looking to hire someone in the country and looking to hire them through a third party using an employer of record mechanism, Papaya can provide solutions across all employment types. Please feel free to ask me any further questions you might have, both about Papaya, but also about the benefits in India. Happy to take any questions from now until the end of the hour. Thank you very much. Open to any questions you might have. Please
Thank you, Amit.
Don't hesitate to just jump in.
Are there any other benefits that you're considering or things that relate to regulation in India that may help you to know? Now would be the right time to ask. Unless everything was so clear, because Amit is so great. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for joining. It was really interesting to host you, and Amit, once again, thank you for putting all of this together. And thank you all for joining us and for staying with us. It was quite long. The recording, we will send it to everyone who registered. We will send it by email and on WhatsApp as well by tomorrow. And we will also share the presentation. So Amit, I need your presentation.
Yeah, of course, we'll send it over.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. It was very nice.
Thank you. Good
Thank you.
afternoon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.